G'day guys, so today we're going to be talking about the incline bench press for a Smith machine, sorry. So what do we want to know about this particular exercise? Well, or when could we use this exercise? So why would we choose this over, say, a normal bench press? Personally, I would always prefer a normal bench press because it works with my athlete's natural range. So some people might need to adjust a little bit further back, just a little bit further forward. However, the good thing about the Smith machine, and just like all other machines, is that because it works in a fixed position, so it goes straight up and down, we can really dive into the chest muscle without having to worry too heavily about our rotator cuff muscles giving way, or those minor muscles giving way. So it's a very good almost isolator for those big major movers. So yes, you could definitely use this as a prime mover. I would potentially use it as an accessory, although, you know, if you think about it as well, if you isolated those big major movers and then moved into, say, your free weighted exercises, whilst your big major movers are under fatigue, and your minor muscles will probably level out that fatigue, and you might be able to sustain maybe a longer higher load, because it won't be your lighter muscles giving way. Anyway, that's a discussion for another time. Point is, incline Smith machine bench press. Now, you can see where this is set up. First things first, ideally, and if you're lucky enough, your Smith machine will have a bit of knurl or something in the middle to show you how to line it up. So if not, what I suggest is that you lower the barbell all the way down to the middle and find your middle point of your bench. Right, so now that we know that we're in the middle and that we're nice and even, because we don't want to be pushing lopsided, number 2 point is that what we're aiming for this to do is hit our clavicular head. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, the evidence is showing that the most activation of our clavicular head will occur from a 45-degree angle, which is what we're in here. However, not much higher. We don't want to go much higher than that, and the reason being is because the higher we go, the more we're going to involve our anterior delts and then move into our shoulders. So for our clavicular head, and for those at home who don't know where our clavicular head is, it's this top part that sits just outside of, it's the top part of your pec. Okay, clavicular refers to your clavicle, which is your collarbone. Okay, so it's the upper portion of your chest. Right, so now that we know this, when the bar is coming up and down, that is what we're aiming for. So we're actually aiming for probably just below your collarbone. So when I sit in here, first thing I'll do is set myself up. So I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back and down and create a nice stable base, place my feet underneath my backside so that we enter what we call thoracic extension. Now, why is this important? Well, if I'm in this, if I lay flat and go on the traditional form of flat for a bench press, you will see that naturally my chest is quite depressed, so depression and pushing into the bench, and my anterior delt is quite prominent. So if I come down and I go to press, right, you can see how much my shoulders are taking the load, and then over a period of time, those shoulders get really taxed, really sore, and you might not be able to bench with a flat bar anymore, or you might find that you have a lot of injuries through your shoulders. And this is because they're just so heavily loaded when we do a press. So if we then change that process and pull our shoulder blades back and down, we do a few things. We create stability, we pronounce our chest, and as a result, when we go to press, you'll see that so much more of that load is being pushed and driven into my chest rather than my shoulders that are pronounced forward, right? And that's where a lot of people get this, their injuries from, is the shearing effects that has occurred. So we want to start with our feet placed underneath our backside, because our posterior chain is like one big chain, and that if we can place our feet underneath our backside, it's going to switch on our glutes, which is going to then in turn, or not switch on, but it's going to place our hips in extension, which then places our chest in thoracic extension, and it just works its way up the chain. So this is why we want to make sure that we're in this position here. Now, how do I get my shoulder blades in there? Well, what I am looking to do is create what we call a flat back. Now, our scapula naturally starts, say, like this position. Say, this is an over-exaggeration, but it starts like this. Okay, what we are trying to do is pull these shoulder blades back and down, and so we get a nice flat back, okay, which is what then results in us having thoracic extension. So, again, we're going to place our feet underneath our backside, and we're going to pull our shoulder blades back and down and create a nice flat back. This creates stability. Now, we have an acronym that we need to follow. It's called STEP. Stability, tension, execution, then we track performance. So stability is completed by pulling our shoulder blades back and down and driving our heels down towards the ground. This is what we call leg drive. Okay, so drive those heels down, shoulder blades pulled back and down, stability, tick. Now tension. Well, we're going to feel the tension coming through our pecs when we do this exercise because our chest is so pronounced. Okay. Where do I want this bar to drop down to? So if I'm setting up, do I want it on my throat? Well, no. What we are aiming for is, if this is the high portion of your chest, we're looking to probably go maybe 3 fingers down from that portion. So we're starting to enter where it dips down towards your clavicle. We don't want to be too much towards your throat, but we don't want the highest point of the chest either. So we're looking for that medium range in between the two. So we're going to come down and back up. On the way down, what I want you to think about doing with your hands is driving your hands apart. I'm fortunate enough that there is a bit of knurling in the middle here. And what I think about when I'm doing the press is that this bar is connected. It's a 2-piece bar. It's not, but let's pretend it is. And it's my job with my hands to pull that bar apart, to unconnect it. And by doing so, you're going to create that thoracic extension, and you're going to keep that tension through that chest, okay? So part of our acronym, stability, check, shoulder blades back and down. Tension, pulling your hands apart, lowering it down, pressing through the chest. That's your tension. Execution, we want the same rep, or the first rep to look exactly like our last rep. Okay, so it's important that we keep our heels driving down, that we keep our shoulder blades back and down, and that we're not rounding off in the chest. A lot of people, you will see them when they start to fatigue, okay, they're in this position here, and they start to fatigue and they lose their arch and they start pressing like this, right? The literature is showing that you're better off racking the weight and then starting again. Okay, so keep your stability, keep your tension, and keep executing absolutely perfectly. And then over a period of time, we track our performance. So at the moment, my performance would be the barbell, and then I might go to a 2.5, but if I lose my shape, a 2.5 comes off, okay? So yeah, in this exercise, obviously we're very fortunate that we're really targeting the upper portion of the chest, and because of the line, and this is the benefit of this particular exercise, is because the line is always the same, you are going to forever stimulate the exact same muscle fibers. So you might be able to dive into areas of your chest that you may or may not be able to activate when you're doing things like a dumbbell press or a dumbbell incline press or a incline bench press with the free weight bar. So it has its place. It's not my go-to exercise, but it does have its place as a little bit of a change up and a swap up for your incline bench press. So yeah, team, that is how I would go about executing your incline Smith machine bench press.